Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel TVC You and Me. I hope the week was amazing for you and the weekend is going well. I'm hoping you have some big plans to enjoy your weekend, and thank you for giving me your time. And today is going to be episode 4. Don't remember to click on that subscribe button if you are new to the channel, and this is going to be a very interesting episode. So far we are discussing my psychology research, what I found out, what did I do, what are the studies and the research, everything focusing on your behavior, your work performance, your job satisfaction, everything, your relations. I hope you took points, you made a chart of it, you are now more aware of where you stand and what to do about it. If not to worry, go back to those episodes and just prepare a good portfolio, a good chart for yourself. In this episode, I am going to discuss the themes that I identified when I interviewed many professionals. For my research, I interviewed a couple of professionals and found out what was common in all these people, in all the experiences that can actually show that there is a relation between spirituality and working professionals. How can I find that? Well, do you want to find out? I found out many themes. So, let's see what they are. So the first theme that I identified after interviewing was life events. Now, all of us, we have some triggers in our life, some bad experiences, some mental breakdown, a kind of overwhelming experience, something. It might be different for each one of us. For example, many of us might have had a bad relationship, or some of the loved ones might have passed away, especially after COVID. Something that triggered the need in you that now I need to find some answers in my life. So ask yourself today, are you aware of what are your triggers in the life that made you feel that something is missing? And then you need to identify those triggers that, okay, these are the triggers that made me aware, okay, I need answers. Then you can actually go towards the solution. So what I'm trying to say is there are always life triggers. When I was talking to these professionals, I could see that all of them have this thing in common, that something happened in their life that triggered that now I need answers. I can't live like this. For example, we just come back from home, we just come back to home and from work, and we're just I'm exhausted, I'm dead, I don't like my job, I don't want to do this again. Well, and the process begins, it's a daily routine like that. We get up, we do the chores, go to office, come back home, do the chores, sleep, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. Did we ask ourselves that, okay, I'm not happy in this, I can't take this anymore, so what is the answer? If you have identified your answers, share them with me. But if not, do you think that spirituality can answer that? Because spirituality will make you aware that, okay, this is happening. It will make you aware of your emotions, then how things are going on, and if you are okay or not okay about it. And sometimes these life events, they actually can change your life altogether, positive or negative. So today, sit down with yourself and see that when you're actually watching this video, so it's for sure that you might have had some events in your life that made you look out for answers. First, identify those triggers, because once you identify them, then you can look for answers, right? So this is a common pattern that I identified, that life triggers can actually make you a bit more focused and aligned with finding answers, and you can actually choose spirituality as a way to answer them, right? Second theme that I identified was thought process. Now this is very interesting because everyone has different kind of thought process. For example, if you fell from the stairs, God forbid, just imagine that, and you might be oh my God, my life is doomed, I don't like it. So many heavy emotions kick in. Your mom will be it's okay, you got this, you'll get over it, I'll help you. She might be a bit concerned, but she'll have a different reaction. Your neighbor will be oh, she'll get over it, it's gonna be fine. more calm response. Same situation, everyone has different response because the thought process is different for everyone. Same happens at work too. For example, like this happens a lot at work. Your boss is shouting, or your head of the department is not happy with the performance of the department, and they're just like, shouting and throwing their, whatever the stats they have. So you might be like, oh, I'm scared, it's gonna be a bad week, I don't like it, stuff like that, I'm worried. The colleague sitting next to you is like, oh, he must be having a bad day, it's okay, he'll get over it, calm down. Whereas the other colleague sitting to the next side will be like, forget about it, just ignore him. 3 people, one situation, different reactions. Why does that happen? Because all of us have different thought process, and spirituality helps to align your reaction and emotions in line to the situation. It's not random. You'll be more kind, more compassionate, more understanding towards the situation. So your thoughts change with spirituality, and it changes the entire situation for you. You see the situation differently when you're practicing spirituality. And it was told by all these interviewees that this happens. Once they started practicing spirituality, the approach they had towards the situation changes. I remember one of the women I was interviewing, she said beforehand, when I used to sit in a conversation I'm not liking, I'll just sit there and just get exhausted and drain all my energy with all the negative talks. But now, after getting more spiritual, I step away. I don't get into that. So you have to see that what kind of changes do you want in life? Are you actually draining your energy away? One of the most common things that I figured out about thought processes, people tend to overthink. Ask yourself, are you an overthinker? I am. I do think a lot sometimes, but there is a solution to it, because overthinking can just take away so much of energy of yours, and it's just not good for you, and it doesn't bore any fruits. There are no good results. It is not productive. It is not effective. So why to do it? But the problem is, it is very hard to step away from it. What I do is, when I start to see, okay, I'm starting to overthink, I take a break. I tell myself, stop. I tell it to myself that stop. Maybe go for a walk, eat something good, or listen to some good music, do something you like. Find your break points. That what can you do when your loop begins? Cut that loop. You have to cut that loop all the time when your brain starts to overthink. It might be tough in the beginning because our brain is programmed that way, that when it starts overthinking, we don't want to do anything else. We just want to just soak in it, just like going down and down. Let my energy go away. We don't care. But tell yourself, no. Go out, have an ice cream, have a chocolate, and something that you like, change the pattern. Eventually your brain will start accepting it, that if you start overthinking, you change it. If you start overthinking, you change it. You reprogram yourself, you rewire your brain, and things will change. It will take time, but it will change. The other thing is that people rapidly addressed was, with spirituality, the reaction time increases. Have you ever seen that usually when you are in middle of a situation and at work, and you say, oh, I didn't mean it that way, I didn't want to say it like that, I wish I shouldn't have done that, because you do it aggressively, impulsively, and then you're like, oh, I wish I shouldn't have done that, I wish it didn't happen. But when you are practicing spirituality, there is more calm in you. You're more soothing at the work, and you have more control over how you behave and what you say. When you say, whom did you say that to? And then your reaction time increases. So today, focus what kind of thought processes you're having. Now we are moving to the third theme that I identified with all these lovely professionals, and that is self-awareness. Now, do you think that you're self-aware? Do you think you know about yourself? Do you think you know if you're satisfied, dissatisfied, happy, sad? Well, most of the time we try to categorize these emotions in one single basket, that's not the case, because once you start practicing spirituality, things will change for you. You will be having more clarity about yourself, about the situation, about others. Because when I was interviewing everyone, I found that people generally are not self-aware. They don't know if they're actually happy in their jobs or sad in their jobs. They are actually not thinking what is it that they need to work on, what is it that is not working out, what is it that needs to be changed. Because we are all running this race from morning to night and just repeating it every day. As I just mentioned to you, get up, do the chores, go to work, come back home, do the chores and sleep. And that is what we do. We are running the race but not living the race. We need to live it. If you're not living, what's the point, right? In order to live it, we need to be more self-aware. Now, to be more self-aware, what is the meaning? Like, what do you need to do? What is required? Ask yourself, this past week, when you come back home from work, do you tell yourself, how was my day? Okay, what went wrong? Why did it go wrong? What could I have done better? What steps could I have taken? Do you ask yourself that? We normally don't, because we don't have time for it. I'm tired, I'm exhausted. I can't just question myself. I just want my tea and sit. But these questions will help you improve the quality of your work life and your personal life, because it will make you more self-aware. You need to ask these questions to yourself. So self-awareness is very, very important, and it is also like a bit influenced by the kind of routine you're having. So ask yourself, am I actually questioning myself, my routine, my life, my decisions, everything? So self-awareness usually increases as you start practicing spirituality and just incorporate that in your life and practice it every day. It won't happen like over a week or a month or a year, I don't know, because it is very subjective and very, very personal to each one of us. So today we have discussed 3 themes. One is life events. Try to figure out what are the triggers in your life that made you, just forced you to find the answers. What were those triggers? Did you find the solution to them? Did you take any steps towards them? If yes, share them in the comments and I will get back to you. Second was thought process. Ask yourself, am I an overthinker? Like, do I have a solution-oriented approach? Ask yourself all these questions and try to figure out what kind of thought process you're having. And if you're an overthinker, what do you think you can do to break that loop? Because our objective is to break that loop. So find that out and drop that in the comments so I can also learn from you and share my experiences with you. Third was self-awareness. Ask yourself, are you self-aware? Do you know where you stand? And if not, what are you going to do about it? What steps are you going to take? Make a list of all these things so you have clarity about yourself, so you can actually make a good relation between spirituality and your work life. And do you think now that spirituality can be an answer to your work life proficiency, excellence, like everything that you want to achieve in your work life? Do you think you can do that with spirituality? I don't know. Answer me in the comments. I want to listen from you, and I'll be back next week with other themes that I have identified for you guys. Till then, take care, have the best week, and till then, bye.